Tack.
Right, welcome back to episode 15 of the Implexus A Whole Lot of Nothing. It's 15 now.
It's good track keeping, that.
Yeah, I actually skipped 13 by accident.
But it's unlucky for some, so that's fine.
Yeah, episode 15. We've got some questions again from the Instagram stories. So if you're listening to this wondering how you can feature a question on our podcast, then hit up our Instagram stories on a Monday and there would be a little question box on there.
There's an important thing to address first. Chris just told me that cool people on Instagram these days put the mics on the peak of their hat. So I'm going to go even different, put it on the mesh.
Yeah.
So let's hope it still fucking works.
Yep. So
Otherwise it's me.
Starting new trends.
Yes. Interesting one to start. Do you suggest PT work with the same genders? I can only assume that means if you are a male or female, choosing a male or female PT respectively. For me, you shouldn't need to. The person that is PTing should be professional. I don't like my predominant clients these days are ladies. Don't really see an issue with it. Providing professional, just so long as they know what they're doing. That's probably the most important thing. Shoot your own opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it matters at all. I feel sometimes a lady might be more comfortable with another lady, and if that's the case, like, crack on. Like, there are some incredibly good female PTs and coaches out there. Equally, there are some incredibly good male PTs and coaches out there. So it's honestly your preference and who fits you better.
Yeah, nice. Is it best to get a PT if you're very unfit and carrying cake? I don't know whether that means like PT them to be able to carry cake, or whether they're already physically a baker and carrying cake, or whether carrying cake is a metaphor for carrying a bit too much
Timber,
yeah.
like a lumberjack.
From kind of an accountability point of view, maybe. From a best methods to get where you want to go, maybe. Is it mandatory or completely necessary? No. Loads of people lose weight by getting off the bus and just doing something, but sometimes a coach or a PT can shorten the path for you because you can give you a most efficient way of doing it, I suppose. Or a sensible way of doing it. Quickest isn't always best, I suppose.
Yeah, and again, it's what works for different people. Some people do better by making their own mistakes. Other people do better by just being led down hopefully a correct path in the first place.
Yeah. Kind of feeds back to that first response that you gave. Get someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. If you, say for instance within like powerlifting, I always recommend for a beginner to get a coach, just because it's one port of call for all their questions. So like, what t-shirt do they need to buy? How does a competition run? If you post it, for instance, on like a Facebook group, you're going to get every single person commenting on that, giving you a different answer. Whereas if you've got a coach who you hopefully trust, they're going to be able to tell you their way of doing it. Again, it might not necessarily be like the right way or the wrong way, but at least it's one thing, you hopefully trust them and you can go with that. But yeah, that's mine.
Do you know any decent powerlifting coaches?
No, a couple.
One place you want to visit in the world?
For me, it's the Rainbow Mountains in Peru.
See, I don't know where it is that I want to go, I just know what they do when they're there. I want to go and do the ayahuasca experience thing.
Okay.
It could be in Peru, is it? Somewhere like that, isn't it? It's South America somewhere. I think you basically go and sit in a tent and be sick for a few days.
Okay.
sounds like a rugby tour. But yeah, it's somewhere down there. I don't know where it is, but I'm sure if I Google it, in fact, maybe I'll be able to Google it before the end of the thing. So maybe I'll come back to it. Blue Mountains, what's in the Blue Mountains?
The Rainbow Mountains.
Rainbow Blue Mountains, Jamaican coffee, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Coffee.
Blue Mountain State as well on Netflix. Yeah, no, it used to be on Netflix, got taken down for being too inappropriate. Very good series though. If you've never watched it, recommend highly.
So what's the Rainbow Mountains?
Rainbow Mountain is just this like, it's this set of mountains, I think it's within the Andes maybe? And they're literally rainbow coloured.
All right.
So like the way the geology is, like there's like stripes of pink, stripes of green, stripes of yellow, and it goes along like the mountain ridge, and it literally looks like a rainbow. So I'd love to go and visit that.
Very nice. Very, very nice. I'll try and do where you can do. I can't spell it though. It's really weird spelling, isn't it? Talk through the April novice event. That's the ladies one, right?
Both,
Both.
male and female.
Fine. I believe the question was asked by a lady, so maybe maybe talk through both.
Okay.
And tell us about the new edition, Ronald.
Okay.
Comp first.
Okay, comp first. I've got to try and remember events again. This is where we fell down on our last podcast, couldn't remember events.
Yeah.
So there is a max 18-inch deadlift. There is a log press into axle press, reps in a minute. So that is one log press into as many axle presses in the rest of the minute as you can. There is a grip ladder. There is
Talk us through a bit more of the grip ladder, because that's probably something that...
Okay. So the grip ladder, it's going to be 4 or 5 implements, unconfirmed on the number yet, but basically it's going to be like a rolling thunder, which is a big fat grip handle. It's going to be a pinch, like plate thing. There's going to be a plate pinch as well. There's going to be a double overhand smooth axle deadlift, and there's one other, and I can't remember it. But anyway, it's basically that, and if you do one, you move on to the next one. It's quickest time to get through all of them, basically. So there's that. So that's 3 events.
Any stoning? Or sandbagging?
Yes,
Or medaling?
sandbagging, and there's an uphill wheelbarrow.
Nice.
So yeah, the uphill wheelbarrow, that's going to be up the hill outside the gym, and there is going to be a head-to-head reps in 1 minute sandbag to shoulder.
Nice.
That is the 5 events.
Very nice.
So yeah, that is for male first time and male novice and female novice.
Beautiful.
I think I've got that right. So the 3 classes.
Yeah, that's right. Second part of the question, tell us about Ronald.
Ronald is...
Not McDonald.
Yeah.
He's ripped to bits, so he's definitely not going to McDonald's.
Yeah, he's the new addition to the Cray family. I adopted Ronnie. He's a Belgian Malinois. I adopted him last Monday, so I can't remember the date of it, whenever that was. Last week, so I've had him 8 days now. He's great. He's a lot of fun. He's currently asleep in his crate, which is good.
Good for a chef.
Yeah.
A Belgian chef.
Yeah. He's got a lot of go about him, and he loves his food. He bites my fingers for his food, so.
As long as he doesn't think your fingers are his food, that's fine. Very well done. Adopted a dog.
So there's Ronald, and there's also another, not adoption, a fostering.
Yeah, also last Monday. Nerf he's called now, formerly known as Bruno. We didn't know his name, the big pig. But he's getting on alright as well. He probably had, mentally I think he has a similar amount of go. He just can't sustain said go for very long. It's got about 3 minutes of playing him and then he's done. But he's getting on alright. He was taken back to the breeder, which is the responsible thing to do, I suppose, but taken back for resource guarding, which I've not seen any of yet, but time will tell.
Yeah. And you are the pro at resource guarding.
yeah, I will resource guard. One walk or hike that you want to do?
I'd like to do the fish. Yeah, I've got a few, but the one that sticks out. I've got a load on my phone that I always forget to look. Phone's there. That I always forget to look at. But Fisherman's Pass in Snowdonia, the one that goes like along that. It's basically like a ladder on the side of a cliff along a riverbed.
Is everyone there? Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, it looks. I don't think you could. Well, it must be dog on shoulders. It's not particularly dog friendly, but yeah, there's a few that I want to do. That one sticks out to me right now as one that I want to do.
I've got 2. I've got one that's kind of semi-realistic, which is the Ridge and Sky that I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
I don't. Yeah, I know one. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called. There's an erect Ridge and Sky. I'm probably not skillful enough to do it, but I'd like to do it. And then the other one, which is probably less likely. I think it's like called the G42 or something in Corsica, where you go like the full length.
Yeah, I've heard
Have
of
you
this.
seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up like the full length of the. It looks mega, but it's like a multi-day event. Probably not for old people like me.
You
But
never
it looks
know.
great if you like that type of thing. Favorite block of training? Does that mean like of all time, or is like your favorite block in a
Your favourite all-time block. So one block of training that's like really stuck out to you for whatever reason that you loved.
Don't like training. That's really difficult. You go first.
All right. My initial volume block for the prep to do the White Lights Media competition pre-COVID. So White Lights Media were going to hold a powerlifting competition. Can't remember where it was going to be, but it wasn't at the Arnold's. It was some sort of like fairly large event anyway. And yeah, it was supposed to be on like May of when COVID was just kicking off.
Okay.
And yeah, my initial volume block of that is probably the strongest volume numbers I've ever hit. I was injury free and I was like flying through it.
Nice.
COVID hit, I stopped training. Then they sort of like rescheduled it for later the year when we were going to come out of lockdown, and then I got injured. So
Perfect.
I didn't like it as much. But yeah, that was my favourite ever block.
I'm really struggling. I once did the Cohen Felipe deadlift program, and my deadlift got it, for me, shot up. That was quite good. But then something happened to me as well. I think I got ill. I didn't finish it. Maybe that was because it was going so well. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I actually like training that much. So it's hard to pick a favourite.
You must like something about it, the process of it, or the outcome.
Yeah, but I also realise it's a necessity as well. Otherwise, because like if I don't do it, I'm a physical wreck. So it's like a choice, isn't it? You do it and you risk the chance of maybe getting injured or whatever, or I don't do it and then I'm just fucked in general.
Yeah.
I suppose I do like it. I do like it. I don't like. I wouldn't like a volume block like that. I would hate that. I like anything kind of springy. Don't mind if it's like right, have a crack at something. But yeah, I struggle with training monotony. I think it's kind of like a nuance towards like almost like a conjugate style sometimes because it gets to be all sorts of shit. But anyway, your favourite lift ever performed? This is really difficult. Actually, no, it's not. I've got two. That's quite easy, isn't it? But it's two, not one. So I'm just wondering.
You can go for two.
Can I go for two?
Yeah, why not?
170 Atlas Stone,
Yeah.
which I did fairly easy, and I regret not doing the 180 at the same time. And 140 yoke press in a comp
Yeah.
because my overhead is absolute shite. So I went into that thinking, right, I'm gonna get, because it was like a rising
Yeah.
bar, and I just managed to keep hitting the lift. And I was surprising myself every time I did it. It was like a comedy event. I was like, how am I not failing? And then did eventually get beat. I came second in the event though.
Nice.
Did eventually get beat by a bloke who was like strict pressing 150, isn't it? Which is really ridiculous. But
Yeah.
that was quite fun. It was good. It was a comp as well.
Yeah.
How about yours?
The one that sticks out is probably the 275 deadlift for two at that Brawn comp, because just the fact that like I wasn't going to do it, I was planning. It was just before Christmas, and I was planning like my peak for Christmas Day.
Obviously.
Yeah, just for like a fun little max out, and yeah, the comp was going like really smoothly, and I was just like, oh, you know what, fuck it, like everyone's warming up for deadlifts, I'm just gonna like throw some tin on and see what happens, and yeah, pulled 275 for two, which is like, yeah,
Nice.
way over what I thought I was going to be doing. That's probably, yeah.
Maxing out Christmas Day this year or not?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice.
So
Join
yeah,
us.
if
Shenanigans.
anyone fancies Christmas Day lifting, then it's usually a deadlift max out. Plus, we did log last year.
Yeah, we did.
almost
Might do
passed
one
out.
this year, actually. But last year I'd ruined my shoulder, hadn't I?
Yeah.
So it's basically log throw. It was definitely not a press. How much can you throw without using your hands?
Yeah. And I basketballed the stone as well.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like there was another question. Mystery events.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah.
It's a good job he's got bulk and I get annoyed at him.
Yeah. Andy Bottomley. So, mystery event. There is no mystery event this
There
year
is no mystery event.
at Leeds Strongest, so you don't need to worry about that. Leeds Strongest. I'm going to forget the events now. There's an overhead medley. There's
Of what? Can you remember?
yes, I can. There's log press. There's yoke press.
Nice.
And there is block press.
How much is the yoke?
You're asking too much.
Well, it's
me
got to
there.
be more than 140, hasn't it? 'Cause if I can do it, other people should be doing more.
Yeah, it's not. I think it either is 140 or 130.
Pathetic. Should be 150. Let's bump it up.
The weights haven't been announced yet, to be fair, so
Okay, nice.
you can do.
Tickle it up.
Yeah. So there's the overhead medley. There's the World's Strongest Man Style squat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. There's the Wheel of Pain asterisk. There's I can't remember the fourth one.
The sandbag.
Sand-
medley,
yeah,
so,
Yes, sandbag, ladder. So that's going to be, the total amount of sandbags is going to be like 12 sandbags in that. So open skies should be hitting all 12. Potentially a couple of inters might hit all 12. It's going to go 150.
150 to shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Still
is.
a large bag, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Decent size unit.
So yeah, it's going to be the same bag. I'm sure I've gone through this. Anyway, same bags for everyone. So starting from about 40 all the way up to 150.
Get as far as you can.
Yeah, and then
Stone over that wooden
stone over frame.
stone over frame, which is kind of like stone over yoke, but probably won't be a yoke.
Yeah, we're going to make a
Almost
frame.
definitely won't be a yoke.
Going to get some railway sleepers. See what
Nice.
happens.
That's it for questiones.
That is it. Perfect. That was nice and fast, I
Nice and
think.
quick.
Right, well, yeah, thank you very much for watching another episode of Implexus A Whole Lot of Nothing podcast. We'll see you again next week.
Peak for Christmas.
Yes, goodbye.